We'll start with this model given to us by Terrence Mitchell, which shows the three contributors to behavioral outcome: skill, effort, and situation as a facilitator or as an inhibitor. We add in this the motivation process, which is the process by which effort comes from. And motivational scholars tell us that motivational is a process, it's a psychological process, and it involves two things: choice and striving. In other words, we choose the behaviors that we want to direct our attention to. And we apply those attentional resources through striving, through continuing to attend to the behavior that we've chosen. So motivation has two components: choice and striving. Okay. The outcome is effort. Effort simply being the direction and intensity of our intentional resources. Our intentional resources are our mind, our physical capabilities, our physical energies, our mental energies, and so forth. And effort is the consequence of choice and striving that makes up the motivational process and results in effort. Now, what feeds the motivational process? While this diagram is simple to this point, we find out that the motivational process is quite complex. Contributors to the motivational process involve both characteristics of the individual, as we see here: traits and states, knowledge, skills, abilities that the individual has, needs that the individual has, attitudes individuals have toward things. We see that the individual is quite a complex organism, and it's any and many of these characteristics of individuals that actually contribute to the psychological process of motivation. But at the same time, these individual characteristics depend on the nature of the situation and what are facets of the situation, how the job is designed. Hygiene factors we'll learn later as being working conditions, reinforcement processes, goals, what we know about justice, as we saw in the movie Rudy, feedback processes, reward systems. So there are many aspects of the worker's environment or the situation that the worker's in that interact with the individual's characteristics to affect the motivational process. That is what we want to look at as we move to session 2 and we examine what scholars who've studied motivation can tell us about these characteristics of the individual and how they interact with the individual's situation to affect this motivational process. So we end with how we began, and that is looking at guiding principles of leadership. We recognize that leadership, the role of leadership, is related, one, to holding position, staying the course, executing where we are, or taking the mountain. And we find that the processes by which leaders use for each of those different roles will affect different ways in which individuals are influenced. So let's go back. And just to recap, as we go forward in session 2, we will be looking at what are the structural types of factors, extrinsic factors that leaders bring to bear on individuals in order to motivate them or to affect their behavior. But more importantly, as we try to understand this transformational leadership, the desired nature of what we really call leadership, and that is to take our followers somewhere we haven't been, to achieve extraordinary things, to achieve in extraordinary situations, we will be looking at the models and concepts and theories of motivation that apply themselves to the interpersonal nature of leadership.